We are going to study about the fluvial landforms. So what are the fluvial landforms? The fluvial landforms are the landforms which are formed by the river, okay, which are formed by the river, the action of river or the action of water of the river, okay. So these landforms are formed by the rivers, that is why it is called as fluvial landforms. Now, these fluvial landforms are divided into two parts. When we study the fluvial landforms, they are divided into two parts. The first part is called as erosional landforms, and the second part is called as the depositional landforms. Now, the erosional landforms are the landforms where the actual cutting of the surface is going on, because when the river is flowing, the water is flowing, and when the water is flowing in the speed, it will have a force, and when it will have a force, it will act on the structure where it is falling, okay. It will the force will act and the energy will act, and it will result into the degradation of that structure, okay. So the degradation of the structure which is happening due to the action of the river water, it is called as the erosion of the river, okay. So the erosional landforms will be formed, okay, where the cutting of the underneath structure or the lateral structure will happen. Now, depositional landforms are the landforms where the material which is eroded by the river or the sediments which are eroded by the river, that will be deposited somewhere, that will be placed somewhere. So these landforms are called as depositional landforms. So these are the two types of landforms which are formed by the river: erosional and depositional, okay. So these are the two landforms. Now, what are actually the fluvial landforms? So a fluvial landform, as we have discussed, is a feature resulting from the movements of water on the earth's surface, and flowing water is the most important force shaping the earth, okay. So the shape of the earth is mainly because of the flowing water. The flowing water is very important for the shaping of the earth. Now, the fluvial cycle of erosion. So three distinct stages of youth, maturity and old age can be identified during the lifetime of a stream, that is of a river. So when a river is flowing, it will experience three types in its journey, okay. So the first stage in the life of a river will be a youth stage. When it will flow towards the plains, it will experience the mature stage, and when it is going towards the delta, or when it is meeting the ocean or the sea, it will experience the old age, okay. So these are the three stages of the river: the youth, the maturity and the old age, okay. So at different stages of the erosional cycle, the valley acquires different profiles, that is, the river valley will acquire a different profile, and the characteristics related to each stage of landscape development in a running water regime are summarized. So we are going to study about that, which type are formed. Like in the youth stage, it will form some different structures. When it will reach to the maturity, the river will form some different structures, and when it will reach to its old age, at that time it will form a different structure. So now, first let's start with the youth stage. Now, in this youth stage, the streams are few during this stage, with poor integration and flow over original slopes. Now, the youth stage is the stage where the river is originating, okay, in the mountains, where the streams are very few and the ice is melting, or maybe it is due to the rainfall. So the streams are very few and the poor integration of flow. It is coming zigzag. Some is coming here, some are coming here, so streams are very few and there is poor integration. Now, the valley developed is thus deep, narrow and distinctly V-shaped, with no floodplains or with very narrow floodplains. So in the youth stage, when the river is flowing from the mountains, here you can find the mountains, and the river is flowing through this mountainous areas. Here are the valleys and the mountainous areas. So when the river is flowing through this mountainous areas, that time it will form V-shaped valleys. Okay, so here are some mountains, again here are some mountains, so it will form a V-shaped valley, and from here the river will flow, cutting the mountain. So for example, the mountain range may be like this. Okay, so mountain range may be like this, but once the river starts flowing, it will cut downside. Okay, the erosion will keep on going, and after some time it will get deepen, and after some time again it will get deepen, and this V-shaped valleys will be formed, and from here the river is flowing. Okay, so this type of valleys will be formed. So this is the actual characteristic of youth stage. Remember this, the streams are very few and poor integration of the flow. Streams are very few, poor integration of the flow, and distinctly V-shaped valleys will be formed. Floodplains will be low and very narrow. If at all, if there are any floodplains, that will be very narrow. Okay, and down cutting predominates over lateral corrosion. Okay, that means mainly when river is flowing, it is cutting downwards. Whatever erosion is taking place, this is the flow of the river, so mainly it will cut downwards. Why? Because when the water is flowing from the high slope, that time it will have a force and it will cut downsides. Okay, when the water is flowing in the speed, it will cut downsides. Lateral erosion, okay, on this sides of the sides of the river, it will be very less, but it will cut from the downside. Why? Because the speed is very high of the water. Okay, so remember this again, important. Down cutting predominates over the lateral erosion. Lateral erosion will be less and down cutting will be high. Then streams divides are broad and flat with marshes, swamps and lakes. This again very important. Streams divide are broad and flat with marshes and swamps and lakes. Streams can be distinctly identified. Okay, streams will not be integrated, they can be identified very easily. Then some of the outstanding features which are developed in this stage are gorges, canyons, waterfalls, rapids and river capture. Okay, so these are the distinct features of the youth stage of a river. So let's revise about the youth stage of river. When river is actually a youth, that is, it is actually originating in the mountains. It is in the youth stage. We will call it as a youth stage. It is originating in the mountains. It is coming down. When it is coming down, that time what will be the physical character of the river? At that time, it will have very few streams. Okay, so this is the first one, very few streams. Secondly, poor integration of the flow. Thirdly, valley developed will be very deep, narrow and distinctly V-shaped. Okay, with no floodplains. Fourthly, down cutting will be high, lateral corrosion will be low. Okay, and then streams divided are broad and flat, that is easy to distinguish. Okay, and then the last but not the least, some of the outstanding features of the rivers will be gorges, canyons, waterfalls, rapids and river capture. So these are the characteristics of the youth stage of the river. Now when the river will come to the mature stage, okay, when the river will come to the mature stage, that is when it will come down from the mountains and when it will reach the plain area, that time is called as the mature stage of the river. Mature stage of the river. Okay, so the mature stage of the river, in this stage During this stage, the streams are plenty with good integration. Now, initially we have seen that streams were very few and they were poorly integrated. But when the river will reach to the mature stage, the streams will be plenty. Okay, and it will be in good integration. That is, this will be a good integration. You can see this type of feature when river reaches the mature stage. Okay, this is the good integration of the streams. Now, lateral corrosion tends to replace vertical corrosion. Now, the corrosion will happen on this side and this side, lateral side, okay, and it will not happen on this downside. So the vertical corrosion or the down cutting of the river which was happening in the youth stage, that will not happen. Now the lateral corrosion will dominate the down cutting. Okay, it will start to erode on the bank side, okay, on the banks of the river, on this side. So the valleys are still V-shaped but wide and deep due to an active erosion of the banks. Now the valleys will be still, some valleys will be V-shaped, but they will wide up and they will be deep due to the active erosion of the banks. Now trunk streams are broad enough to have wider floodplains within which streams may follow in meanders confined within the valley. Okay, so meanders will be a distinct feature in the mature stage, and then swamps and marshes of the youth stage as well as flat and broad interstream areas disappear and the streams divide turn sharp, and then waterfalls and rapids disappear. You will not find waterfalls and rapids. We are going to study about the waterfalls and rapids, what are this, so don't worry. So meander and slip off slopes are characteristic features of this stage. So this is related with the mature stage. Now when the river will reach to its old age, its old stage, that time the river moving downstream across a broad level plain is heavy with sediments. Okay, the river is heavy with sediments, and that time when the river is heavy with sediments, that means when the river was in the youth stage as well as the mature stage, it has brought lot of sediments along with it, and that time when it will reach in the old age, that time it will deposit all the sediments which it has brought from the youth stage as well as the mature stage. Okay, so the vertical corrosion almost ceases in this stage, though lateral corrosion still goes on to erode its banks further. So smaller tributaries during old age are few with gentle gradients, and the streams meander freely over vast floodplains. Divides are broad and flat with lakes, swamps and marshes. Okay, and depositional features predominates in this stage, and most of the landscape is at or slightly above sea level. Characteristic features of the stage are floodplains, oxbow lakes, natural levees and delta. Okay, so these are the old stage characteristics of a river. Now let's start with some fluvial erosional landforms. Now previously we have divided that, we know that the river has two types of landforms, erosional as well as depositional. So now we will study with the erosional landforms. What are the erosional landforms? Okay, so most of the erosional landforms are associated with running water, are made by youthful rivers vigorously flowing over steep gradients. Okay, and with time the stream channels over steep gradients turn gentler due to continued erosion, and as a consequence lose their velocity, facilitating active deposition. Okay, and there are two components of running water. One is the sheet that refers to overland flow on the land surface, another is streams and rivers that refer to a linear flow as in valleys. So there are two types of water flows running water on the earth. One is the sheet water, okay, or the overland flow, and you can call it as a sheet flow. That means when the rain is falling on the earth structure, that time water is accumulated and it flows as a sheet, that is called as overflow, and that is also a type of running water on the earth. The second is a stream of water, okay, that is the streams and rivers. At that time they have proper channel and they go through a proper channel and they follow proper channel and they create their different type of structures. And what are river valleys? So the extended depression on the ground through which a stream flows throughout its course is called a river valley. The extended depression on the ground through which a stream flows, that is a river flows throughout its course. Throughout its course means it follows the same course, that is called as a river valley. Now at different stages of the erosional cycle, the valley acquires different profiles. Valley starts as a small and narrow rills. The rills will gradually develop into long and wide gullies. These gullies will further deepen, widen and lengthen to give rise to valleys. Depending upon dimensions, shape, types and structures of rocks in which they are formed, many types of valleys like V-shaped valley, gorges, canyon, etc. can be recognized. Okay, so first let's start with this V-shaped valley. Now remember, we are studying about the youth stage. That means the V-shaped valley are formed when the river is in the youth stage. Okay, so remember, the water is flowing from here, streams are coming and it is flowing, and remember this is coming from a mountain. It is coming from a mountain, so it will have a speed, it will have a higher velocity, and when it will have a higher velocity, it will start to cut beneath. Okay, it will start to cut beneath and it will form this type of V-shaped valleys. Can you see this V-shaped valleys here? It will form a V-shaped valley. Why? Because it will come from a height, and when it is coming from height, it will have a velocity, a high velocity, and when it is having a high velocity, that time the undercutting, here you can see this is the undercutting will be high and the lateral it will be very low, and as it will move forward, undercutting will be less and the lateral will be high. So the river uses its load to cut down into the bedrock, causing vertical erosion. So this is the vertical erosion. Okay, and loosened material is washed into the river, increasing the load and therefore the ability to erode decrease. Okay, so here the material which is brought by the river, it will increase and the lateral erosion will start, the downward will decrease. Okay, and within time the river directs its energy into eroding the valley laterally. Here you will find laterally. The whole process then repeats itself and the vertical erosion will be less and the horizontal or the lateral erosion will be high and in the later stages of the valley. So these are the V-shaped valleys, and you will find this V-shaped valley in the youth stage. Okay, now what are the gorges? So gorge or gorge or gorge, whatever you call it. So gorge is the extended version of a V-shaped valley. Now here you can see this is V-shaped valley and water is flowing from here, from this V-shaped valley. Now when this water is flowing from this V-shaped valley, it will bring along with it some sediments. Okay, it will bring along with it some rocks which are coming along with the water, the river water, and that rock will erode this area. and this area will be eroded and this area will be widened. Okay, this area will be widened and you will find this type of gorges. Okay, so earlier this was of this shape. Later on, due to the erosion, this area got eroded due to the water. This area got eroded and it took the form of a gorge. So this is the example of gorge. Again, you can see here, this is a gorge. It will be of this shape. Okay, and the water is flowing in that direction. Now, the next feature is called as canyon. Now, canyon is also something like gorge, but it is going on deep. So here you can find the remnants. Earlier, the river was flowing from this area. Later on, it got deepened it due to the erosion. Again, here you can see the terraces. So in canyons are also similar to the gorges, but they have extended mouth. Okay, so we know that gorges were something like this, but canyons are something like this. And here you can find terraces, the remnants of the previous route of the river. So these are the previous route of the river from where the river was flowing. Okay, from where the river was flowing. So here in the mouth, in the opening, it will be widened. It will be in wide. Okay. So these are the canyons, and the very famous is Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon, which is formed by Colorado River. In North America. Okay, Grand Canyon, which is formed by the Colorado River in North America. This is very famous. This is the largest canyon on the earth. Now the next structure which is formed by the river action is called as waterfall and rapids. So what are the waterfalls? How are these waterfalls formed? And what are the rapids and what are the plunge pools? Okay, so here you can see the water is coming down, the river is coming down and it is falling down. Now when the water is falling down, it will exert a pressure on the surface. Okay, and it will create a depression. Here you can see it will create a depression here, and so this will be called as waterfall. And here you will find that water is exerting pressure on the backwards also, and it is also exerting pressure on the forward side also, as well as the backward side. So this undercutting as well as the forward cutting will be called as plunge pool. Okay, so these are the plunge pools. Here you can see the plunge pools will be created due to the waterfall. These are the plunge pools, and the undercutting will also go on happening, and once it is reached to the maximum level, due to the water pressure, it will fall down. Okay, again it will be the retreat of the river on the backside. Okay, so this is called as steep gorge like valleys. Here the steep gorge like valleys will be formed. Now what are rapids? Now rapids are something, here you can see this is the river which is flowing on this direction. This is the understructure, this is the surface area of earth below the river water. Now this area got eroded because it was made up of soft material, okay, and it got eroded. Now this area did not get eroded because it was made up of hard material, okay. So these are the hard structures, and because of this was hard structure, it did not get eroded, and it created an obstacle in the way of the river, and that is why the water gets bounced up, and again it goes down, again it goes up, again it goes down, okay. So these are called as rapids. So rapids are very famous for rafting. So if you are interested in the adventure sports, you must, if you have tried this rafting, this rafting is done on the rapids, okay. So here you can see the rafting is going on, because here once the water is bounced upside and again it goes down, the speed will be very high, because it is going up and again it is going down. The speed of the river will be high, and up and down, the movement of the water will be up and down. This type of waves will you are visible in the river, and this type of structure is very useful for the rafting, because you need speed of water while doing rafting, okay. So the rapids are useful for rafting, remember this. Now there are potholes. So what are these potholes? So when river is flowing in this direction, for example, river was flowing in this direction. So when river was flowing in that direction, at that time it brought along with itself some stones. So here you can see the stones in the water, okay. You can see the stones, and when the river was flowing with full speed, it was full of water. At that time the stones, these were revolving in this direction due to the force, due to the pressure, and they eroded this part, made it soft. The stones which are there, they started to revolve because of the direction, and they started to exert pressure on the sides, and these holes got extended, and this created the potholes in the river. So these are the potholes in the river, which are the again a structure of the youth stage of river, okay. Now again, if we see, these are the incised or entrenched meanders. Now basically you remember, meanders is a form of depositional, like it is a depositional form, but here the incised or entrenched meanders is a erosional form. So don't get confused between the meanders and entrenched meanders. Entrenched meanders are totally different from the normal meanders. So now the entrenched meanders are the meanders which are created by the river by erosion, okay. So here you can see the whole area is eroded by the earth. So here you can see, earlier the river was flowing on this level, later on it got shifted downside, okay, it shifted down and it created this kind of terrace, okay. Again it was shifting from this level, but again it got shifted down and created a terrace. So these are the entrenched meanders. This type of meanders are called entrenched meander, and this entrenched meander is a structure of youth stage of river, okay. The entrenched meanders is a feature of river when it is in the youth stage, remember this. Now the river terraces. Now when the river is flowing in this direction, okay, this direction, okay, try to imagine, it is coming from this side and it is going that side. that side. So when the river is flowing in this direction, it will create a terrace. Here we have seen this type of terraces, okay, this type of terraces on both sides, on this as well as this. So when these terraces are on the equal distance or on the equal level, they will be called as paired terraces. As simple as that. It is very simple. When the terraces on the both banks they are on the equal level, they will be called as paired terraces because they will be paired to each other. But when they are not on the equal level, one is upward, one is downward, this is up, this is down, this is up, this is down, they don't have a pair on the other bank, on the other side of bank. This may be up like upside down, or they don't have a pair on this level. So these terraces are called as unpaired terraces of the river. Okay, so these are the river terraces which are created by the river. Now penny plains. Now penny plains are the plains when river is coming from the hilly region to the plain areas. At that time it will create a penny plain. So these are the penny plains when river is coming from hilly area and it is reaching the plain areas. Now these were the erosional landforms of the river. Now we will study about the depositional landforms of the river, because whatever material it has brought with it, the river, now it will deposit. So these are some depositional landforms. So rocks and cliffs are continually weathered and eroded in the youth stage or upper course of the river. Okay, it was continuously the cutting of the rocks and the mountains were going on. It was weathering, it was eroding. So the river moving downstream on a level plain brings down a heavy load of sediments from the upper course. So whatever material it was cutting down, the water was cutting down the material and it was taking away with it all the material which was cut down from the rocks or from the mountains. So the decrease in stream velocity in the lower course of the river reduces the transporting power of the streams, which leads to deposition of this sediment load. Now when we see that when the youth stage, the velocity of the streams was very high. Why? Because they were coming from mountains and they were coming to the plains. So velocity was very high. Now they have reached the plains. They have left the mountains back and now the river is coming to the plains. And when the river is in the plain, at that time velocity will decrease. Okay. Now the capacity to the capacity to carry the sediments with it will decrease. Now the velocity is decreased, that means the capacity to carry the sediments or the rock debris which it has brought with it, it will decrease, and now it will have to deposit the material which it has brought with it. Okay, so the coarser material are dropped first and finer silt is carried down towards the mouth of the river. Coarser material means the material which has big size, and the finer silt means which is in the small, like the tiny particles. But the coarser material may be some small rocks or some big sediments. So that is the coarser sediment, and the coarser material it will leave first and the silt it will carry on forward. Okay, so this depositional process leads to the formation of various depositional landforms through fluvial actions such as delta, levees and floodplain. Okay, so due to this sediments which river has brought with it, this material will get deposited and it will form different types of landforms. Okay, so let's see first depositional landforms. So alluvial plains are the first depositional landform. So here you can see when the river is coming down from the mountains and it is reaching the plains. Now when the river is reaching the plains, at that time the stream is reaching the plain, that time it has brought lot of material lot of sand which it has cut from these mountains. Okay, the water has eroded the mountain and it has brought lot of sand with it, and when it will reach the plain or it will reach the surface, that time it will deposit it. Here you can see the water has deposited all the material, and this type of fans will be created. So these are called as alluvial fans. Okay, alluvial fan, the material which is deposited by the river stream. Okay, so this is alluvial fan, and this is a depositional. It is very easy to recognize. You may be asked a question in an exam, identify which is the depositional structure of a earth of a river and which is the erosional structure of a river. Okay, so this may be a question in your exam. So you should be able to identify between the erosional and the depositional. Okay, it is very easy to differentiate between the erosional and depositional if you have the concept clear in your mind, that how and what are the different types of erosional landforms and what are the different types of depositional landforms. Okay, so now the next depositional landform of a river, it is the floodplains. So when river is flowing, that time, sometime it due to the heavy melting of the glaciers, or it may be due to heavy rainfall, that time lot of times the river gets flooded. And when the river gets flooded, the material which they have brought with them, that will be distributed in this area, because now when the floods happen, that time it is not limited to only this channel, it extends, it gets flooded, and that time the sediments will be deposited in this area. Okay, in this area due to the floods. So these are called as the floodplains of a river. Okay, so these are the floodplains of river in which the river is flooding, and after the river is flooded, at that time the deposits or the coarser material or the material, the rock debris or the material which it has brought, the alluvial material which it has brought while it was in the youth stage, it will get deposited on both sides of bank, and a plains will be created, and that plain will be called as floodplains. And many times they are very good for the cultivation. Okay, fertile, they are fertile and good for cultivation. Okay, so the next depositional structure of the river we will see is the natural levees. So what are the natural levees? So you see that when the river, it is flowing in this direction, and now when it will get flooded, it will deposit the sediments over here and it will create the floodplains. So the water level of the river will increase from this to this. Okay, so the water level of the river has increased. Now it is depositing the material on both banks, but on the edges it will deposit more, and it will create a huge boundary, a huge ridge of this type. Okay, on both sides. So these are called as, and again when the river water will recede to normal, at that time these ridges are visible due to the deposition of sediment on the both edges of the river, and they are visible like this, and these structures are called as natural levees. Okay, these are the natural levees. Now point bars. What are the point bars? Now when the river is flowing, you will see that it is not flowing in a straight direction, because it is bringing lot of load material, it is bringing lot of sediments with it. Some sediments will be deposited on this side, some sediments will be deposited on this side. So when the sediments are deposited on this side, it will erode more on this side. Okay, again, so this will cause a zigzag line to follow. That means when the river is flowing in this direction, it is bringing some of the sediments with it. It will deposit in this direction and slowly take turn. So the whatever the material it is depositing on the other bank, only one bank, that is called as point bars. Okay, so here the point bars are visible. You can see on the meanders. Okay, this is a meander of river. That is, the river is turning in the zigzag position. So on the other side of river, you will find the point bars. So these are the point bars. Okay, so these are the point bars you will find in the point bars on the meandering course of the river. So we are going to study about what is the meandering course. So the next is the meanders. So what is meanders? So when river is going in this direction, it will take turn. Again, it will go in this direction. Again, it will turn because of the heavy sediments. It has brought heavy sediments with it. Now, as it has brought heavy sediments with it, it will start to deposit some of the sediments on this coast. And as the sediments on this coast are deposited, it will start to shift its course. Again, these sediments will be deposited on this coast and it will shift, it will start to erode on this side. The sediments will be deposited on this side here, and river will shift its course. So in this way, it will take a turn. So this type of structure will happen. Here you can see, due to the deposition of sediments. Here you can see the sediments, you can see. So this is the meandering course of the river. That means the river is going in the zigzag form. Okay. And this is called as the meandering course of the river. Now, let's see what is Oxbow Lake. So now when the river is meandering, that time what happened? The first stage, the continual erosion on these two outside bends means the meander neck gets narrowed. Now the river is going, here it is depositing and here it is eroding. It is depositing, it is eroding. Okay, and it is flowing in this direction. So as the erosion is going on in this direction on this bank, the erosion is going on. So here you can see on the second stage, so meander neck becomes narrower because of the erosion. Okay, again this is eroding. Now again, eventually, normally during a flood, the river cuts through the neck and flows across it instead of going into the meander itself. So during the flooding, it will cut the meander neck and it will start to flow in this direction. Okay, it will cut this and start to flow in this direction and start depositing its material on this side. So this part of the river will get cut from the main river. The river will change its channel. It will start flowing in the straight direction, and this part is called as Oxbow Lake. Okay, this is called as Oxbow Lake. So the original meander is then blocked off due to deposition to levee an Oxbow Lake. Okay, to leave an Oxbow Lake. So here the Oxbow Lake will be formed. Now, so this is the normal flow of the river. Here you can see it was meandering, and here these are the Oxbow Lakes formed because of the change in the course of river. Earlier the river was flowing in this direction, but later on it got shifted and it started to flow in this direction. These are the cutoffs which are called as the Oxbow Lake. Now these are the braided channels. This you will find in the old stage. Oxbow Lake also you will find in the old stage only, in the mature as well as the old stage. So these are the braided channels where lot of sediments are deposited. So here you can see the white color. These are the sediments, the gray colors, which are the sediments deposited, and river will keep on changing. There will be various streams of the river. So these are the braided channels of the river. And at the end, it will create the deltas, where it will reach the sea or ocean. Okay, so here you can see the river is reaching the sea or ocean, and it will create the delta. So this is the delta of the river. Here you can see the river is coming and meeting the sea. So these are the various streams because of the deposition of the silt. So this is the silt which is deposited actually. So this is created by the silt only. The green color which you see, it is actually the deposition by the river. The silt, with the material which it has brought from the youth as well as the mature stage, it will be deposited in the delta, and it will create the deltas. Okay. So we have different types of deltas. So the delta, this type of delta in which the material is deposited on other sides and the stream is flowing in the main direction. So this type of delta is called as cusped delta. Okay. So this is cusped delta. Then arcuate delta. So the arcuate delta is like the river is coming and it gets divided into different streams due to deposition of the silt. So this is the silt. This is the silt, and the river is bringing lot of silt and it is getting divided into many streams. So this is called as arcuate delta, and you can find lagoons in this area. The small lakes on the river coast, on the deltas. Okay, small lakes on the deltas. And then you can find the bird foot delta. So here you can see it looks like the bird's foot. If you see the structure, it looks like a bird's foot. So same like arcuate only, but the structures will be different, slightly different. Here you can see the streams going outside, and this will create the bird's foot delta. Okay, so these are the different three types of deltas you can identify now. Cusped delta, where the stream is going in the straight direction and depositing its silt on the either side of the river. Here you can see the silt is divided, the silt is deposited on all the sides of the river, and here you can see there are many streams. Okay, so these are the three types of deltas of a river. So that's all about the river. Now in our next lesson, we are going to study about the karst topography, that is the karst landforms. Okay, so what are the karst landforms and how they are created underground? So we are going to study about that in detail.